Hello, my loves, and welcome back to Get Better, Not Bitter. My name is Carmen Caruso, and today I would like to talk about those unexpected life events that just zing ya. And I like to refer to them as zingers. For instance, let's say you're striking up this new relationship, maybe it's a friendship, and you find out that this person has been talking some smack behind your back. And it zings you. It hurts inside. It's like an internal cattle prod, just zzz, and it hurts. So how do you deal with that? Or maybe something happens at work, like your boss just starts coming down on you, and you're like, hey, treat me with some respect. Don't treat me so poorly. Talk to me about it like a human being. And they just come back at you like, hey, I'm your boss and you won't speak to me that way, blah, 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 and what have you. And it just kind of generates this really, really stressful environment and this stressful energy in your life. And you're left like, I still don't know why you're treating me this way. So how I like to deal with these is, first of all, you can only control your own actions. And that's where I like to begin. So I ask myself, I'm like, how can I calm myself? I'm like, you feel the anxiety coming up. Maybe you feel sick to your stomach. Maybe it comes out and like you're angry with other people around you that haven't done anything wrong. And so you kind of have to come back into yourself. And as uncomfortable as it is to feel those feelings, you have to feel them. Just leaning into them, acknowledging them is super helpful. And I also like to just maybe take it back a couple steps and look at like, hey, is this a cycle? Is this something that I felt before? And it probably has. You can look back into childhood. I had one friend kind of reference, she had some issues with a work environment and a work issue with her supervisor. And she felt like, as she referred to it, as like a child who was being reprimanded, and she didn't understand the whole scope of it. And just the way that her supervisor was speaking to her was just making the situation worse. This woman obviously did not have super good people skills, which is necessary. And, as a supervisor, one should always live by example and be that example to their employees. And this woman really wasn't following through with that. And she felt like, my friend felt like this child being reprimanded, and she felt shame. And sometimes when we're in these midst of a life zinger or unexpected life event, you're left with these shameful, hurtful feelings. And it's kind of a good thing to go ahead and go back to, okay, where does this originate from? And allowing yourself, giving yourself that permission, hey, it's okay to feel this way, and not condemning yourself for it. And then as you move forward with that, identifying those feelings and accepting of them, maybe these things that are happening is pushing you into a new area in your life. So, nobody really likes change. To learn to enjoy change is a choice that you make in your head, in your mind, in your heart, in your soul, to say, hey, you know what? Change is a part of life. I'm going to go ahead and embrace this, and then moving forward with it. And that is another way to, instead of fighting the change, whatever life event is happening, instead of fighting it, embrace it. I mean, I remember when I was going through my divorce, I was really just fought it for a while, because I was like, hey, I have like my life invested here. I have a child and I want to make this work. But when I finally, like the light went off in my head, and I was like, hey, I can't make my ex-husband want to work this out and be responsible where he needs to be responsible. So I took it upon myself just to be like, I need to be accepting and of what he wants to do and what I want to do. And these are two different things. So I know I can control me. I've exhausted my resources in trying to fix what I can fix. And I embraced change at that point, and I was like, this is the path that I'm going down. And there's not a whole lot you can do about that sometimes, except for embracing it. And, you know, once I did that in that area of my life, I tell you what, a lot of stress fell away. And anybody who's been through a divorce, you know, the norm is that it's not a fun experience at all. So, you know, embracing the change that's coming made it a lot easier for me. And in moving forward, because then I kind of had an idea of what direction I was going. Maybe didn't know exactly where I was going, but I had an idea, and that calmed my nerves and helped me move forward. So, and another way to kind of deal with these zingers, these life zingers, is to just, you know what, hey, best buddy, can I, you know, lend me your ear? Can I talk to you? Or go to therapy, or, you know, just find someone that you really know that you can trust and confide in them and say, I need some good advice here. I know that I leaned on my pastor's ear quite a bit, and it was probably one of the best decisions I made. I got some really good, realistic, rational, logical life advice. And that helped me to move forward. And I have applied it in several areas of my life, and it has been just a godsend. And I continue to use them today. And just how I assess the situation, giving myself permission to feel what I'm feeling, and then knowing that my feelings are indicators. Emotions are indicators, people. They are not dictators of your behavior. You have to make that cognitive decision, go from your reptilian response to your cognitive decision making, and move forward from there. I think you can count to 5, take a drink of water, maybe when you're in the situation and you're facing, maybe that manager's kind of just chewing your ear, and instead of reacting emotionally, you're going to respond cognitively. It makes a huge difference. Take a drink of water, count to 5, take a couple deep breaths, but do it, and it will help you coping in these kinds of situations. And, you know, after the fact, when you have a bit of time to get away, maybe exercising, yoga, reading, to kind of get your mind off of that rumination, because you're going over and over in your head. I know I battled with that a lot when I was going through some of my more stressful life events. And it can literally just ruin months of days, weeks, months of your life. So if you can, meditate, bring the positive in, get rid of that negative, acknowledge it, because if you don't, it won't go away. Avoidance is not the answer. And of course, as always, be graceful with yourself. You're human. You're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to live in a world where you make mistakes, and it's okay. You can learn from them and move forward. So please, I hope this helps you dealing with these unexpected life events and in moving forward with them. If this video was helpful for you, please hit the like button, leave comments below, and if you would please hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the little bell button for future notifications for videos. I thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a fantastic Monday and that you just rock this week. So thanks for tuning in and visiting me. Remember, you can get better, not bitter, and thrive. Bye, everybody.